Joel, it's great to see you. I'm just going to give you a statement. Joel Dahmen, winner on the PGA Tour. A few days on, how does that sound?
Pretty darn good. It's not getting old, that's for sure. It's pretty fun to walk around this week and everyone say congrats and how happy they are. And yeah, I'm a PGA Tour champion, and no one can take that away from me. You always hoped to, you always dreamed about that, but when I'm 65 and drinking a beer with my boys at the golf course, I'm a PGA Tour champion. It's gonna be with me forever.
Brilliant. For those who won't know, this has been some journey. Just tell us a little bit about that journey with regard to the tours that you've had to play on to get to where you are now.
Yeah, I've kind of, I don't know if it's a longer route per se. It's probably the more common route that people don't know about. But I played pretty much every mini tour across the U.S. you could play. I was based out of Arizona, so a lot of Gateway Tour stuff there. I played a bunch of state opens, but I played PGA Tour Canada for 5 years. Started there 2010 to winning the Order of Merit in 2014, and from there I graduated to the Web.com or Corn Ferry Tour now. So I was there in 15 and 16, and then a rookie in the fall on the PGA Tour in 16. Pretty tough rookie year. Struggled like most rookies, and got my card back through the Corn Ferry Finals. And that was a huge relief because I thought if I had one more chance out here, I could kind of figure it out. And the last 3 or 4 years have been pretty good out here. The win has been elusive a little bit, but played very consistently. My game's gotten better every year, and I was thinking it was just a matter of time, but the time was ticking away for me there it felt like for a little bit. So it was nice to get the first one.
The tour journey aside, I'm guessing a decade ago, this day probably felt light years away when you were diagnosed with cancer, Joel. Now, can you give us an idea of the emotions that you felt when you did win at the weekend? Was all of that reflected and just all molded into one there?
Yeah, I think it was, and it was a huge relief, obviously, to actually to get it done. But I think that's why you saw the emotion out of Gino, my caddy, and my wife Lana on the green. It was we've all been through it together. I mean, it was almost 10 years ago to today. It was about this time in 2011 that I was had cancer. So yeah, it was one of those things. I think just a lot of people have been with me for a long time. I mean, Gino and I have been best friends since we were teenagers. My wife's been with me for 9 years now. So yeah, it's just it was a lot of raw emotions, I think, that were built up over these last 10 years, really. And my journey has been probably physically a little bit tougher than others, emotionally as well. But I think that's why we appreciate the good times so much. And I think that's what you saw, kind of the emotions on 18 out of all of us were just, it was a long time coming, but there was a lot of lean times in there as well.
I was reading an article about you earlier on today, and one of your quotes was, "Golf is not life or death, but cancer is." And you just touched on it there. Does your life experience make you appreciate moments like that even more?
Yeah, definitely. I think it started with my mom's passing. I was a junior in high school, and when I took a lot of stuff for granted. I mean, I had everything I wanted. We kind of had the white picket fist. We were members at a golf club down the road. I kind of had everything we ever wanted. We're a pretty blue collar family, but at the same time, I never wanted for anything. And so to have my mom taken away from me too early, and then there's some tough times in there, and then for it to happen to myself, I was just kind of a young dumb kid who was taking everything for granted. I was playing some mini tours, running around, having some fun, and yeah, I think as soon as it struck me, it was one of those things of like, it can be taken away kind of in an instant type thing. And it kind of woke me up, and you can kind of see from that point on, the practicing changed a little bit. The habits, day-to-day habits have changed, and taking golf more serious. I'm not taking it for granted, and I'm definitely not taking moments like last Sunday for granted either. And I have a lot of fun people around me that I think we're going to enjoy this one for a while.
You mentioned your caddy Gino there, and you've known each other for most of your lives there, you said. He also saved that signature hat of yours.
Yeah, right.
I see you wearing the cap there that's got cancer crossed out. Was that quite poignant in itself, though, when he saved the hat?
That's Gino, right? I mean, that's he's never stops working. And I say that Gino cares about me as a human more than any golf shot I'll ever hit on tour. And I don't think many guys have that out here. Maybe a couple other guys do, but Gino generally cares about me as a human being. He married my wife and I 2 years ago. He was our officiant. So we there was no one else we would rather have do that. So, and he's been a huge part of obviously my life, but also my wife's. And so we make a great team. And there when I'm taking pictures on 18 as the hat flies off in the wind and it looks like Gino jumps over the cliff. Thankfully, it was just a bunker and wasn't going into the ocean. But that's just Gino. He's always there for me, and he saved the hat, didn't spill a drop of the beer, and we were right back in the picture, taken a couple seconds later.
Did you just, the two of you, have a moment then when the realization had come that you'd actually won?
Yeah, I knew I was going to be emotional, but he's always a tough guy. It's kind of funny. His wife Holly, who obviously we're close with, she texted me. She goes, "Gino didn't cry at the birth of either of his children, didn't cry at his wedding, but he cried when you made a 2-foot putt to win a golf tournament." So, and he ugly cried too. I mean, it was real emotion. So, and it was pretty funny. So, it's great. I mean, we're just walking around on air this week too. We were chatting today in the Pro-Am for 9 holes, just about a couple of the shots we hit out there on Sunday, and just kind of reliving the good times.
I read somewhere on social media, someone had posted that if you can't be happy to see that scene of Joel Dahmen, his wife, and his caddy on the 18th green, then you've got a heart of stone. On your wife, just put into words the role that she's played in the past few years.
Yeah, it's probably hard to put into words, but she worked 2 jobs when I was on the mini tours to help pay rent, to put food on the table, to allow me to continue to pursue this dream. But she also, there was a month in there where I didn't know if I was going to play golf. I had missed Q school for the 4th or 5th time. I wasn't advancing really anywhere in the career, and just kind of sat around moping. And she said, "I don't care if you play golf or not, but you're not allowed to sit on the couch anymore." So she's been a huge supporter, but she's also been there to kick my butt a couple times, which is always needed. And yeah, she travels a lot with me. She takes care of almost everything off the golf course. And so for me to have a peace of mind that all I have to do is whack the golf ball around the golf course is I'm pretty darn lucky for that. And she's always believed in me, even when times weren't so great, and she's always been positive. And I think, it's happy for me. I was relieved for her almost that she can like take a breath, and like we have a couple year exemption out here now, and it wasn't always like, one more. It was just like, okay, like let's keep going. So super happy for her and the time that she's put in. And I'm just very, very lucky to have a wife who cares about me. And we actually still love each other, which is great. We're best friends. We love being around each other. So we don't get sick of each other, which is great.
Joel, I'm sure the phone has been off the hook since Sunday. Can you tell us who's been in touch, golfers and maybe non-golfers as well?
Yeah, I still have about 175 texts to get to. It's a good problem to have, but Fred Couples texted me Sunday night, which was awesome. He was kind of my idol growing up. And I don't know if there's any one person per se, but I think Lon and I both woke up Monday and were just amazed at the totality and the amount of people who have reached out to us. And people are genuinely happy for us. And Gino and I we're nice to everybody. We get along with almost everybody out here. And it's nice. It's nice to be liked. It's nice to be loved. And it's great to feel that, after a big moment in our lives, that everyone else has kind of joined in on that, and got a lot a lot of people have said that they shed tears with us as well when they saw that. So it's just cool. Um, it's special to know that you know we've made a lot of great friends through the years, and I think I owe a lot of people a lot of beers at this point. Is what I'm figuring out right now.
That the Fred Couples text though, that must have really struck a chord.
Yeah, it was. So I got to meet him for the first time about 2 years ago. We actually played together at the Safeway Open in Napa, and that was the first time I ever met him. We had plenty of mutual friends, but I never got to meet him, and that was just one of the coolest things. I've always looked up to him. He's a Seattle guy from the Northwest, so you know, and he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the legends of the game, and so that was really cool for me. And even guys like JT and Ricky and some of the the stars out here, they do it often, right? So, and I don't, we're not best friends per se, but just to have them reach out and say congrats. And I think that they appreciate how hard it is to win too. We take it for granted when when they're the top players, they're winning 2 or 3 times a year and they're winning majors, and JT just won a players, but they know how hard it is to win, even though they make it look easier than it is. And I think Tiger made us a little bit numb to winning. He just did it so often and so much, and made it look so easy at times that it's just not that easy. And it's not even easy for those top guys. So I think it's an appreciation from everyone around, knowing that when you're in that moment that it is tough to seal the deal. And yeah, it was just it's pretty cool. It's fun to walk around on a week like this and get all the congratulations for sure.
Joel, really appreciate your time. Just the last couple from me. You go to TPC in San Antonio now. Does that feel kind of surreal because you walk on to the first tee as a winner?
Yeah, I mean, today in the Pro-Am this morning, they announced me as a PGA Tour winner. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we're walking on cloud 9 around here. Maybe that'll translate into great golf this week. Maybe I'm too excited. Maybe it won't. But we're certainly going to enjoy the walk the next couple of days, and it'll be good. I have a week off next week and go home, see a bunch of people, and then we can kind of get back to work again when we get to Hilton Head. But yeah, it's just so cool. It's unbelievable.
I know, obviously, being a professional golfer, it would have been a sport that you played your whole life, but do you follow any other sports? And if there was another trophy that you could win in another sport, which one would it be and why?
It's a really good question. I follow almost every sport. I'm kind of a sports junkie. Big Seahawks fan, for sure. Russell Wilson's one of my favorite players. So I would say probably winning a Super Bowl would be great, but I have no chance of actually being on a football field. I thought I maybe could have played basketball when I was in 6th or 7th grade, but I never kept growing, so that wasn't going to work out. But I mean, if I would say an NBA championship, if we could get the Seattle Supersonics back to Seattle and won an NBA title, that would be it for me.